What's going on, guys? Greek Freak here, and in this video we're going to be talking about week 4 of the NFL regular season, which was another great regular season week as we had 2 overtime games again. And the first game that we're going to be talking about are going to be the Saints and the Dolphins, and it was the first game of the season that we've had a complete shutout game by a team, which obviously is a very great accomplishment by the amazingly surprising probably way that the Saints had a great defensive game and really just were able to beat down the Dolphins defensively. Another shocking game would be the Bills and the Falcons, and in that game we obviously know that last game the Falcons came out with a very surprisingly very narrow controversial win versus the Lions, and in this game they ended up losing to the Bills, which very much is a very surprising now 3-1 Bills, which is just pretty amazing considering not many people were talking about the Bills coming into the season. Steelers looking very good in their win against the Ravens, winning 26-9, and very much in a good fashion. Had a great defensive day and also good enough on the offensive end, and really looked to be looking pretty good despite the fact that they're not really at I feel like a full potential yet at where they are. Bengals win another game against the Cleveland Browns, which now are 0-4 and are very much out of playoff contentions, as no team has ever made the playoffs 0-4 since 1990. Los Angeles Rams coming out very surprisingly and beating the Dallas Cowboys 35-30 in a very interesting and very great game, probably game of the week so far as a good matchup between two pretty good teams right there, as the Rams go and fortify themselves at the top of their division at the moment, and the Cowboys very much trying to fight in their very competitive NFC East. And Titans-Texans, very interesting game if you very much like one-sided affairs. So in the game, if you do like history, though, as far as scoring, Deshaun Watson, a rookie quarterback, set the record for rookie quarterback touchdowns in a game, which is now 5, and very much just a complete beatdown as they beat the Titans 57-14. Lions and Vikings, very much close game, low scoring, 7-14 win, a very great divisional game, and just very interesting in the ways of how the Lions were able to very much show the fact that in the case if you actually took away the controversial loss to the Falcons, they would be an undefeated team, which we'll be talking about later on in this video. The Panthers and Patriots, as the Panthers have been struggling offensively, the Patriots have been struggling defensively, and in this game the Panthers came out and won the game with great offensive ability. Cam Newton finally showing off a slump that he's been obviously in, as he's been having one of the lowest QBRs in the league so far, and the Patriots defense just didn't look like it was ready to step up, at least to the standard, to be able to beat the Panthers' great offense. To Jaguars Jets, another game that very much came down to the line as it went into overtime once again, and this is right now our 5th overtime game of the season, which is very much interesting that we've had so many offensively great games that have been so closely contested, and very great game there as Jets pull out with the win. Overtime game being the 49ers and Cardinals, as the Cardinals were able to pull out with a field goal in the win of the overtime to stop the 49ers from having their first win of the season. Eagles and Chargers, very great offensive game as it was a back and forth scoring game towards the end, and the Eagles were able to pull out the win at the end with a very great finish and great all-around display and great on the running game with one on offense. The New York Giants struggle up against the Buccaneers with their injured team, as they were able to pull off the win against the Giants and stop them from being a team also to win their first game of the season. Final game being very much probably not directly what everybody was expecting, but very good game, being the Broncos and the Raiders, as the Broncos defense obviously took over the games, holding the Raiders to only 10 points, and very much a very great finish as the Broncos won by. In this week we had some very great passing performances But not only that, we have some very great rushing performances as well, and very much we're going to be talking about the undefeated teams, which is only the Chiefs for right now, who are going to be playing on Monday night, which is not going to be talked about in this video, obviously being recorded today on Sunday. And we have the unwinning teams, which we have 4 teams: 49ers, Browns, Chargers, and the Giants, as they're very much struggling to win their first game and are very much out of playoff contentions, as no team, as I've mentioned before, has made the playoffs starting 0-4. But guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe now to Picard the Greek Army. And as always, this is Sparta.